Hello everyone, this is Palk the Fashion Workshop. I remind you that we post new videos every day. Today I'm going to show you how to make a coat with dolman sleeves and gussets. This is the pattern made when making a Ferragamo style coat with a pattern. You can easily make such patterns on the basis of your measurements. You don't need a basic pattern to do it. You can use the basic pattern if you have one, but it's not necessary. This is how the pattern for the sleeve looks like. Such sleeves can be made only in pretty loose white coats. There are no darts in the sleeve. As I've already said, the sleeve is pretty loose, just like the coat. Have a look at me. This is my favorite coat. It was made on the basis of this pattern. Notice that the coat is pretty loose. What I want to say is that sometimes we want to make coats without the seams here. This is what the dolman sleeves are for. Anyway, in garments with dolman sleeves, these parts are pretty loose. This coat is of different style. Today I'm going to show you how to adjust this pattern into the one for the coat with dolman sleeves and gussets. I know that there are different ways for making sleeves with gussets. I believe that the one I'm going to show you is the most convenient one. I honestly think that making such sleeves on the basis of a basic pattern is too complicated. I will show you how to make a coat on the basis of a pattern for coats with dolman sleeves. These are the front, the back, and the sleeve. The technique I'm going to show you today can be found in any books. I came up with it myself. You may think that there are better ways to do it. You are more than welcome to try. I'm just showing you the techniques I use myself. As you already know, I prefer fast and easy ways of work. I don't like complicated techniques. They are usually not worth wasting my time. First, we need to adjust the sleeve pattern. I need to cut about 5 or 7 millimeters here, just like when sewing regular sleeves. The width of the opening should be not more than 1.5 centimeters. Next, I need to cut the pattern in half. I need to do it because I'll be working with the front and the back details separately. I'll put the back part of the sleeve on the back detail and the front part of the sleeve on the right detail. Next, I need to attach the sleeve to the front. The technique is similar to the one we use when making regular sleeves. Notice that the details cross. It's okay. The most important thing is that these openings should be even. Do not attach the detail this way or that. The opening should be even. When you attach the details to each other with a sticky tape, mark the point where the details cross. Here it is. Next, I need to draw a straight line down from this point and cut it. The cut detail should be signed. I remind you that these are dolman sleeves. Notice that I haven't changed the upper part of the sleeve. The front and the sleeve details cross here. Next, we need to fold the sleeve and attach this detail here. Make sure that the marked points match. The line should be straight. Please be very attentive. Have a look here once again. I cut this detail from the sleeve. I'll make these points more vivid. You need to cut this piece Fold the sleeve this way and attach the cut detail here. Make sure that the marked points match. Do not try to close this opening. This opening will be used for these. I basically just moved the cut detail up. I need to attach these two details to each other with the sticky tape. This is what I put this piece here for. This line should be straight. We show you a lot of useful techniques which we create in my fashion house. I need to mark the point where the code actually starts. Next, I need to measure and mark about 9 or 8 centimeters down from this point. This number depends on your pattern. I think that in my case, 7 centimeters would be enough. I measured and marked 7 centimeters down from this point. Next, I need to connect these 2 points with a straight line. The techniques you can find in books are much more complicated. This is the sleeve detail, and this is the front detail. I remind you that there was an opening here. I cut the detail from the sleeve, turned it, and attached to the side seam. I'll sign that this is the front detail of the sleeve with the gusset. Have a look here. I'm going to cut this detail next. This is going to be just one detail. I'll make an opening here in order to be able to attach a gusset. I'll show you everything when I start cutting. The front detail for the sleeve with the gusset is ready. The front itself is also ready. There will be no opening here. The techniques I'm showing you in this video are very useful. These are the front and the front detail for the sleeve with the gusset. Let's move on to working with the back. Where I cut the same detail at the back, I'll attach them to each other. There will be no seam here. I can move the patterns for the front details aside. I need to attach the sleeve to the back the same way. Next, I need to mark the points where the details cross. After that, I need to cut a part of the sleeve, just like I did it with the front part of the sleeve. I'll sign that this is the back detail of the sleeve. Next, I need to measure and mark 7 centimeters down from this point. This measurement should be even in the front and the back. These points should match just like the notches on the waist. Next, we need to connect these 2 points with a straight line.
Точку 7 с точкой, где у нас пересеклись рукав с полочкой.
I'll sign the side seam. I can cut these details now. If I added 8 or 9 centimeters here, this opening would have been bigger. It would be more convenient for me to sew in this case. Anyway, I'll manage to do it the way it is. I'll make a tiny seam here. You can make the opening bigger. Cut 8 or 9 centimeters from the side seam. Remember that practice makes perfect. This is the back pattern. And this is the front pattern. I remind you that these are dolman sleeves. Next, I need to make a pattern for the gusset. I need to attach the side seam to the side seam. Make sure that the details match. I didn't sign this detail, but this is also the side seam. This part will be inserted in the side seam of the coat. Notice that this angle is too long. We don't need it, so we can cut it. Of course, I could make a new pattern for this detail. I'm not going to do it. I think that I'll manage to work with it this way. When making a pattern for this detail, do not be afraid of cutting all the extra pieces, like the angle which I cut. This is the lower part of the sleeve, and this is the gusset which will be inserted in the coat. I remind you that we cut the small pieces from the side seams. I cut the small details from the side seams both from the front and from the back. As I've already told you, I have Max Mara coat. They use very interesting techniques. Maybe I'll show it to you one day. I learned a lot of useful and interesting information when I visited their exhibition in Moscow. This is the pattern for the lower part of the sleeve, which turns into the gusset. This is the back, and this is the front. I can start cutting the coat. I remind you that when making garments with dolman sleeves, we need to use more fabric than usual. I recommend buying 2 lengths of fabric. In this case, you will have enough fabric for facing, collar, and the other small details. Today I showed you how to adjust the pattern for this design. Next time, I'll cut the fabric for the coat. That's all for today. Be different and beautiful. My name is Paukšte Irina. Subscribe to my channel, write comments, share videos, press the like and the bell buttons. I really need your support. Thank you. Goodbye.